Hello, and welcome. Welcome to another Inside Scoop with Gifted Travel Network. I'm your host today, Vanessa McGovern, Chief Sales and Marketing Officer for Gifted Travel Network, and it is my absolute pleasure to join you today on this live stream. I've got a great lineup for you. I will be bringing on a member of my team, Erica Whitaker, Director of Partner Relations, and we have a great group of Gifted Travel Network members that are going to be joining us to talk about one of the most important, if not the most important, global luxury travel conference of the year, and that is Virtuoso Travel Week. We just returned from Virtuoso Travel Week, and we attend this conference every year. Virtuoso is our consortia at Gifted Travel Network. We are proud member of Virtuoso since 2019. And as we are a luxury focused host agency, this is the place to be in terms of being supported from a consortia standpoint. So our partnership with Virtuoso is incredibly important. And in attending their annual global gathering is a number one priority for us at Gifted Travel Network. So we wanted to get on a live stream today and share some inside scoop about what Virtuoso Travel Week means to us at Gifted Travel Network, and just share some boots on the ground stories and tips and tricks and strategies and takeaways, and really to inspire and inform those of you that have landed on this video, whether it's live or recording, to let you know what it has meant to us as luxury travel advisors, and then to inspire and inform those of you considering attending as part of Gifted Travel Network, whether you're a member of Gifted Travel Network in the future, or if you are a travel advisor considering a Virtuoso host agency, considering Gifted Travel Network, so that you can understand the magnitude and the scope of what Virtuoso Travel Week is and the true impact that it has on advisors' businesses, because it really cannot be overemphasized how incredibly important an event like Virtuoso Travel Week is for our members here at Gifted Travel Network. And, it was probably, we've been a member of Virtuoso Travel Week since 2019. So we obviously attended Virtuoso Travel Week in person in 2019. 2020 was, 2020. We did a virtual option in 2020, which was incredibly inspiring and completely needed and relevant in that moment, and just lit that fire and kept us all tapped in. So we were very grateful to have that momentum, keep that momentum going. We did return to Virtuoso in person after that, and in 2021, I believe it was, and we've been going back ever since. So obviously we attend in person. There was a virtual option, which we will talk about as well. We've got a virtual attendee that is joining us to talk about things on Inside Scoop. But the majority of our presenters today are going to be sharing information specifically about their participation in the in-person element of Virtuoso Travel Week. And so at the host agency level for 2023, we sent, myself included in this number, 5 members of the Gifted Travel Network team. And then we had over 50 Gifted Travel Network advisors that attended the one-on-one appointments and made their own appointments outside of that, and came out in force to support our global partners, and to show their professionalism as luxury travel advisors, and to deepen their knowledge. A lot of our travel advisors, they use Virtuoso Travel Week. It is really their opportunity to go, quote unquote, shopping for their clients, and to really get in touch with what the trends are in luxury travel, and to deepen their relationships, as well as cultivate new relationships with partners that they work with to bring to life the most amazing trip experiences that they could possibly do for their own clients. And so a luxury travel advisor attends Virtuoso Travel Week for those reasons. And even if they know the partner, know the hotel, there might be a new general manager, there might be a new director of sales, or there's a new program that the hotel is rolling out, or there's something new in an emerging destination that they need to learn about. As a luxury travel advisor, it's our job, right? It's our job to be in the know, and we come to Virtuoso Travel Week to be in the know, and like I said, to deepen our knowledge and to also create new connections. And the end goal of that is obviously to bring to life perfectly curated trip experiences for the most discerning clients. And a Virtuoso advisor has all of that access to the connections that they need to bring that type of trip experience to life. And a Virtuoso travel advisor, you're not going to find a luxury focused travel advisor that has more access than a Virtuoso travel advisor. And so Gifted Travel Network Advisors has full access to the breadth of offerings at Virtuoso. And it's just amazing to see the quality of trip experiences that our members can curate as a result of the relationship with Virtuoso. And the result of that are trip experiences that change lives and that matter. And at Gifted Travel Network, we believe that travel heals, travel changes the world. And we proudly work with our members to be able to bring that to life on a multitude of levels. And our relationship with Virtuoso is really core to that. So today is all about giving you a little inside scoop about what Virtuoso Travel Week is all about. And if you are in the travel space, you know that usually that second week of August, your social media feed is full of posts from colleagues and partners that descend upon Vegas from all corners of the globe to attend this meeting. Meeting is not the right word to put it. This event, this global gathering. And so today we're gonna talk about that and dive into that. So before I bring on my first guest of the hour, and that is our Director of Partner Relations here at Gifted Travel Network, just a few housekeeping notes. This presentation is being recorded, so if you are catching it live and you need to access it later, know that it will reside on our YouTube channel. We are broadcasting live on a variety of platforms. So hello, hello, hello. If you are catching the live, I'd love to hear from you. So go ahead and drop a comment in the chat to let me know that you are on. I've got the comment box up here. I'd love to say hello to you, and feel free to do that. Let me see if I can join this chat here. One moment. I can't connect, so I'm not totally sure, but I will be reviewing the comments, and I hope to see you on there. So thank you for joining. And that's it for housekeeping. It's pretty straightforward, and we look forward to your feedback on this conversation later. And you're always welcome to reach out to Gifted Travel Network if you are considering joining us. And after this presentation, you're inspired and you want to learn more, you're welcome to email us at joinus, really easy, at giftedtravelnetwork.com. Of course, if you are one of our amazing GTN members and you've got questions about this presentation, or you were not able to attend Virtuoso Travel Week and something piqued your interest, go ahead, of course, and reach out to us for any questions you have at info@giftedtravelnetwork.com. I'm going to go ahead and bring on our first guest. How about that? Let's go ahead and bring on Erica Whitaker, our Director of Partner Relations here at Gifted Travel Network. Hey, Erica, thank you so much for joining us. I know it was a bit of a last minute thing, and we're so glad that you could do that. We have Tracy on our Partner Relations team, was not able to attend at the last minute, but it's all good because we have such a breadth of bench strength on the Partner Relations team that Erica was able to make it work in her schedule. And I am so glad that you could join us. So thank you for that.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
So tell the audience that is watching on Inside Scoop Virtuoso Travel Week, what does Virtuoso Travel Week mean to you as the Director of Partner Relations? And actually, before you answer that question, share with our audience, a little bit about you and your specific role at Gifted Travel Network. And Absolutely. Then because that obviously provides context for your answer.
Absolutely. So as Vanessa said, I am the Director of Partner Relations at Gifted Travel Network. I have, I believe, one of the absolute best jobs in our industry. I work on a day-to-day basis with all of our partners, and that includes our tour operators, our cruise lines, our hoteliers, all of our fantastic partners that any of our advisors here have direct partnerships with, courtesy of Gifted Travel Network. And so I oversee the team that works with them on a day-to-day basis in a variety of different areas. Some of that can be advocating for our members. Sometimes that is just working with them through various things that might come up, but it absolutely is, I believe, one of the best positions in the agency. I love it. I love my job.
Obviously, I'm biased, but I agree with you. You do have a pretty amazing,
I
pretty
do.
amazing role, and we work with the best partners.
We do.
And we have the most amazing members, and so I think it makes it easy and fun for you and for me to be able to deliver on that. I see we have. Hi, Mary. Welcome to the stream. We're happy to have you here as well. So thank you, Erica, for joining and letting everybody know what you do. So tell our watchers here, our viewers in the social media world, what Virtuoso Travel Week means to you.
So I think Virtuoso Travel Week means to me just an absolute, it's really, as Vanessa mentioned, there's no other, meeting is not the right word. It's this global gathering of, these different partners. And it's just an opportunity to connect with some of the absolute smartest, strongest minds in the industry. And it's not just from, the individual meetings that you will have, but it's the professional development. It's all the different aspects that are involved in this gathering. And it's really a truly special time to be in the industry, to hear what's the trends are happening, the latest and greatest things, but also just connecting and having that in-person experience with everyone else who's like-minded.
What was the vibe? What would you say was the vibe this past year?
I think excited. All of our members, it was such a pleasure to, as Vanessa mentioned, we had 50 members, and it was such a pleasure to speak with them and hear, from different points of view, whether they were new or they had returned. The vibe was just so excited. They were just so anxious to hear what was happening and hearing all about their trends and having those conversations and having those hallway conversations in between running from meeting to meeting and hotel to hotel, and really, really going deep with their colleagues. I think there's only one word for it: exciting.
There was definitely an electric vibe this year. I think last year we were still kind of like, coming back, everything.
Absolutely.
But then this year it was like, we're back and we're here. And it was very exciting. Tell me about some trends that you either you heard about, that you already knew, that it just kind of reinforced, or maybe a new trend that you kind of picked up on, whether it's a partner related trend or just a luxury travel industry trend in general. What would you say that would be?
Actually, what I really have enjoyed hearing about, actually going back to one of our, I think it was a personal development session. It was interesting. So, of course, you have the opportunity to hear from all the different personal development, and I was able to pop into a couple. But there was one that was just talking about, really having that the way that your mindset works and the way that you look forward. If you come in with that excitement and you come in to truly bringing your own skill set, and it was all about maximizing your own personal skill set with whatever you were going to, whether that was, in your own personal life or in the travel industry and working with your different clients. I was really interesting. And it was just talking about leaning into and really, embracing your inner intuition. And as Vanessa knows, I lean very heavily on my intuition. And so it was really interesting to hear that more and more that was becoming a bigger and bigger trend with different advisors. That was something that they're really interested and passionate about learning about, was leaning on that inner intuition and leaning about, all the different things. It was very interesting.
I love that that you shared that. And so to summarize, you picked that up from a professional development session, which are sessions that are led on the Sunday of Virtuoso Travel Week. And then the one-on-one meetings, the matched appointments, start on Monday through Thursday. And I believe what happens now is that for those of you that attend a Virtuoso Travel Week, if you want to catch a recording, they all live now in the Virtuoso Travel Academy. So that's another benefit of Virtuoso Travel Week, is that the professional development sessions are available even after the actual in-person sessions are done, which is always very helpful to be able to refer back to. I mean, the professional development sessions at Virtuoso Travel Week are best in class. Jennifer Campbell and her team do an absolutely exceptional job. Now I'm going to ask you a really tough question that you're not going to like that I'm asking you, and I didn't tell you I was going to ask you this, and it's like asking what your favorite child is. So I apologize.
Oh, no.
I'm not going to say favorite, but tell us what partner meetings and conversation or conversations really stood out to you. Like, you were talking to X partner and you really, this stood out. Like, what were some of those standout meetings for you?
Okay. So, and just again, to give context, my purpose for being at Virtuoso Travel Week is twofold. Obviously it's to deepen those partnerships and really continue those conversations. And it's also, just to, again, advocate for you, the members of Gifted Travel Network, and hearing what's happening. And so I had the amazing opportunity to meet with several different, cruise lines, tour operators, hotels. But I think the two that stood out to me is Carmen's meeting with
Princess.
with Princess. Was just absolutely phenomenal. She just brings such a passion, to the cruise industry. She just brings such a light, a passion, and an excitement. And it goes back to that vibe that was happening. She was clearly, let's talk, how can we deepen the partnership? How can we continue conversations, and not just have these conversations, but then continue them throughout throughout 2024 and beyond. And I think that was one of my favorite conversations to have. And then, another one was just, I had the opportunity to have a very intimate dinner with Valerie Wilson and Tom Paleo from Mandarin Oriental. And it was truly just a magical evening. It was a very intimate dinner. It was really where those connections happen. And it cemented my love of the luxury travel space and making those connections.
Great answer. Especially the one with Carmen Corvos-Roig, who is the head of sales for Princess Cruises. What stood out to you was her energy. Yes. And that's really what it's about. I mean, you might not remember all of the details of the promotions and the Virtuoso amenity and the sailings and this sailing soft, and we have this on this, and they're repositioning in the new destination. All of those details come at you fast and furiously over the course of the time that you're there. And yes, you will retain some. Hopefully you'll be taking notes for others. But what really the big takeaway is that energy that somebody made you feel. And obviously Carmen left an imprint for you based on what you said. And then that gives you more reason to reach out beyond Virtuoso Travel Week. And so I love that answer. Thank you. And I know that that dinner that you described was also very meaningful for you as well. We have a question from Mary, which would be a great way to wrap up your time with us. And that is, how can one prepare for maximum impact and gain? I'll let you give an answer to that. Okay. How does one, prepare for maximum impact and gain for Virtuoso Travel Week?
Well, in a very practical sense, I'll give you my practical answer, and then I'll give you my practical sense is wear sensible shoes. I fully embraced my luxury and lifestyle vibe and wore white tennis shoes all week, which is absolutely the way to do it. And I will never be going back. So in a very practical sense, wear the right shoes. But in a business sense, I really do encourage you to continue, find the list of partners that you're going to meet with and proactively send them notes. Let them know that you're coming to Virtuoso. Really look and maximize your time with these partners. They have come a long way, and the advisors that stand out to them are the ones who, again, going back to that, how did they make you feel? They so appreciate just a drop of an email saying, I'm going to be in Virtuoso. I'm going to see you. I look forward to meeting you. They really do appreciate that. And it goes a long ways just to maximize that time and that meeting, and just familiarizing yourself with their products ahead of time. That's another great nugget. It means the world to them to know that you came prepared.
Great advice. I'd like to take a crack at that too before we bring on Wendy, our next presenter. I have not embraced the white tennis shoe trend yet, and that's okay. There's still some of us that don't need to do that, so that's okay. I think how to maximize your impact and gain, which is such a great question, is to be really clear on why you're attending and get really clear on your objectives ahead of time, and then proactively accept invites or seek out invites for destinations and partners, hoteliers, or cruise lines that fulfill that objective of why you're going. And don't, and accept everything that comes your way. Put it through the lens of your personal objective of why you are going in the first place. That's really important from the very beginning in terms of maximizing your impact and gain. And then have agility also. Have a plan, but be agile, because you might get a last minute opportunity for a meeting or a cocktail party, and you might end up having the best conversation of the entire week with somebody that wasn't planned. So you also have to leave room for those magic moments that happen organically. So hopefully that gave you some good insight, Mary. Thanks for your question. Erica, I'm going to send you on your way because we have Wendy Chambers from Victory Travel waiting in the wings. Thank you, Erica.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Let's bring on Wendy Chambers, who attended Virtuoso Travel Week 2023 in the virtual edition.
Yes, I did. Yes,
Wendy,
I did.
Thank you for joining. Go ahead and introduce yourself to our viewers. Let them know how long you've been in business and just a little bit about your business.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Vanessa, and great to see you. I am Wendy Chambers. I am the Chief Travel Designer for Victory Travel based in Westport, Connecticut. I started my business in 2018, so this is going into my 5th year, which is terrific. And I'm thrilled to say I'm one of the top producers with Gifted Travel Network, which is just so exciting. So it's great. And that's probably a great summary for who I am.
Perfect. So tell us about your experience with the virtual option this year. How did that work? What were the highlights?
All right, terrific. So this is my 3rd year doing virtual, because given when I came into travel, 2019, I had no idea what I was doing, and Virtuoso Travel Week scared me, so I didn't go. And then COVID hit, so I started attending virtually. And so this is actually my 3rd year of doing it virtually. And it has worked out very well when you want to be really laser focused on meeting with partners, because you don't get to do the parties, you don't get to do the talking in the hallways with people, but it is a wonderful way to assemble your schedule. What I tend to do is I bundle them by topic area or country or whatever, and stage them out over the days as I put them together. And that has been a really great strategy that's worked very well for me. I find that their platform works really well. I can attend pardon?
It does. I agree.
So yeah, it does. Yeah, the big, what I call the big tent, the openings on Sunday night and some of the trainings you can easily access. And, it isn't the same as sitting next to 49 of my colleagues, right? And, however many else and all the people I have yet to meet. But it is a great opportunity to get exposure to it and to be able to participate.
I love it. Thank you for sharing that insight. And we do miss you in person. And I know we'll see you at the in-person, hopefully in 2024. Can you share an inside scoop about 1 or 2 partners that really stood out to you during the meeting?
Absolutely. Because it actually worked out really well. One of the meetings was with a colleague that has become a good friend because I work so much with Big Five. So in working with Big Five, one of our preferred partners, Paul Dorgan was one of my first meetings, and it was just really nice to see a familiar face and to be able to talk for 10 minutes. But yet I learned about, he said, "Hey, do you know about these trainings that we're doing?" Which I didn't know about. And I ended up calling into them over the next couple of weeks. And, if we hadn't had that informal 10-minute chat, I wouldn't have known about it. And it gave me some great exposure to some of their destinations that I could always use, building in. And another one was,
I want to dig into that just a little bit further, Wendy.
Sure.
And sorry to interrupt your flow, because you're saying something that's really important, and it's occurring to me because it's an objection that I hear from not really GTN members, but maybe 1 or 2 that are new, and then those considering an event like Virtuoso Travel Week. You said something really important. You already had a great relationship with Big Five. And I know that you've sold and you love Big Five, a GTN preferred partner, and Virtuoso obviously as well. So some travel advisors might look at that matched appointment and think, well, this is a waste of time. Why am I meeting with people that I already know and have a relationship with? I don't need to meet with Big Five. I already know Paul. I already know Big Five. You know, some people might say that, you know, for the in-person and in your case, virtual, like how do you respond to something like that? What's your advice?
So I think that's a, you know, it's a great question. And for me, and what I would recommend to people is absolutely sprinkle opportunities to meet with partners that you already work with, because there's always something you don't know. Just as I said, that, you know, something as simple as these 2 destination meetings that they had that I had missed the invite for, you know, I hadn't seen it. And, you know, I wouldn't have known about it had he not been there. But it also gives you a chance to just strengthen the partnership. And, you know, we're colleagues working together. And I love what Erica said, that this is a global gathering. And it absolutely is. And when you're attending virtually, you really are meeting globally. You're, you know, because the people now who are representing the different partnerships and companies and hotels and everything, those people tend to be in destination or on site where the properties and things are. So it is truly a global gathering, but it just gives you a chance to just connect both personally, professionally, educationally, to ask a question that, you know, I may only call somebody and ask about Africa, right? But like, hey, by the way, what can you know, what should I be thinking about for Australia and New Zealand? That isn't a muscle that I've used with you guys yet. So I would absolutely do it. And it's just super nice to see some familiar faces as you go through it, because, you know, it's all about getting together and building relationships.
You hit the nail on the head. I mean, this is a relationship industry. And just like your personal relationships, your professional relationships, there's also nuances to your professional relationships that are not so linear. Like, you don't want to be that person that only reaches out when something is wrong or when you need something, like, hey, can you help me, you know, arrange this car service or get an upgrade, or, nobody likes that friend that always calls when they need something, right? It's the same here, right? You don't want to be that travel advisor that's always reaching out because you need something. It's a relationship. So just what you said about sitting down with Paul and just having a chat and catching up, and then he's giving you information about these presentations that you didn't know, like, those are the nuances to the dynamic that you can't explain, right? It's just what has to happen in order to nurture and build a strong relationship.
Right. So true. I couldn't agree more.
I love that. What are partners that you have already now used and maybe booked an experience with as a direct result of Virtuoso Travel Week?
So it was actually, I love the way life works. It was actually amazing. I had a scheduled meeting with IDI Travel, who I had not personally worked with, but heard a lot of wonderful things from my GTN colleagues about. And so I scheduled a meeting with them, had a wonderful meeting with Barbara. Their offices are right outside of Venice. We had a wonderful conversation. And that next day, I had a client who needed to do a pivot from the tragedy in Maui. And they still wanted to go away. And she said, I want to go to Italy in 4 weeks. And it was actually about 3.5 weeks. And so I reached out to one of the partners that I often work with that said, can't do it. And I completely respect and support that, because it was in 3 weeks. But I thought, I'm going to call Barbara at IDI Travel. And she put me in touch with a wonderful travel designer there. And, you know, we actually made a plan. First time we'd ever met, ever spoken. We made a plan on who was going to do what. I said, I'll work on the hotels, you work on the experiences and the transfers and the trains and all that. And we're going to learn quickly if we can do this or not. I said, let's either do this or fail fast. And that's what I said to the client too. And she was very candid with what the expectations were from my end. And I said, let's see if we can make it happen. And they leave next week. And it was a $30,000 trip.
And that is a direct result of attending virtual in this
Absolutely.
case.
Absolutely. If I had not met with them, I probably would have not been comfortable calling and reaching out. I mean, I had a 10-minute foundational relationship with Barbara, and it was a wonderful conversation with great energy and great expertise. And so I said, let's try it. So that was really a great thing.
That's amazing. I love that story.
Yeah, amazing. And then, I met with a number of properties, and one of them was the Royal Crescent, which is such a classic and incredible property in Bath, England. And I have clients who are making their first visit to England in a couple of weeks in the middle of October, and Bath is one of their stops and is going to be a home base when they're up in that area, and they're staying at the Royal Crescent. And I happened to mention that, and I received an email, I think within 24 hours, saying, not only a thank you note, but saying, we have upgraded your clients. Thank you so much for giving us their name, and we are so looking forward to them arriving. And I didn't ask for it, and it wasn't the purpose of the meeting, but it was just, I am so grateful for that initiative and just that care and connecting with our travelers, because it's all about the experience, and them taking the time to just make it, even that much more special was so appreciated.
Wendy, thank you for sharing those two really great examples, especially the last one, because they didn't have to do that. You didn't ask for it, but I know they did that because they met you, they knew you, they felt you, they saw your professionalism, and they want to go that extra mile for you because of the way you went the extra mile for them, even just showing up for the meeting and bringing such a great positive professional energy that matters, and goes back to Erica's point about vibes. So thank you so much for always being so positive and professional. I also want to note for those watching, like Wendy Chambers, and just to remind you, if you're just joining us, 5 years into the business, you joined Gifted Travel Network through our new to industry training program at Travel MBA. So for those of you considering joining the industry, we do have a program for you if you're new to industry. Wendy is a direct result of that. And there's a whole other live stream that we can do, because she's gone from corporate to full-on entrepreneurship, leaving a very important, well-fulfilled, well-compensated role in corporate America, and now running her business and also living a very fulfilled life in the meantime, but selling travel. So Wendy, it's always such a pleasure to be with you. Thank you for sharing your inspiration and informing everybody. We really appreciate it. And we will let you go. We are going to bring our next guest in. Thank you, Wendy. Enjoy.
Thank you, Vanessa. Bye-bye.
I also want to give a shout out to Jennifer while we're bringing on Sandy Lipkowitz. Jennifer from Gourmet Adventures Travel, Jennifer Verville. She's saying here, I was so happy to attend my first Virtuoso Travel Week with Gifted Travel Network. The members and team really helped me navigate and get the most out of the event. Thank you, Jennifer. It was a pleasure to be with you. I remember seeing you at the Rosewood lunch. That was a highlight for me. So let's go ahead and bring Sandy Lipkowitz on of We Make Travel Easy out in San Francisco.
Hi, Vanessa.
Hello, Sandy. Always a pleasure to be with you. Thanks for making time for this conversation. You are with us in person.
I love in person. I mean, I was at our first one in 2019, and then we all know what happened in 2020. And 2021, I was in person. And then 2022, I had to do virtual because I was taking a group to Kenya, and it was just right at the end. And so, but it was so wonderful to be back in person. To me, person is, it's already on my calendar for next year.
As so many others. So what was your sentiment leaving, Virtuoso Travel Week? Like what was the vibe for you during the week?
Well, the thing for me that I always get out of this, and what I think is most important, is relationships, and it's the partner relationships. I mean, I can't tell you, I made a list of so many things that have already happened since Virtuoso Travel Week because of my relationship with the partners. And it's because of that I'm able to extend amenities or take care of problems or do something for clients that there is no way in the world that they would be able to do on their own. And it just, and I get the comment back from clients when they're traveling, everything was seamless. And it's because of the wonderful relationships we have with our partners and how good they take care of our clients when they are in their hands.
We can't overestimate that. I mean, and that's the role of the luxury travel advisor, is to have that access. And your role is to have that for your discerning clients and to create that seamless experience. And you do that in partnership with boots on the ground in the various destinations. So, and going to an event like Virtuoso Travel Week just further deepens that. So I appreciate you sharing that. Tell us about maybe one or two partners that just really, really stood out to you this year. Give us some inside scoop on that.
Okay, well, I'll give you one with a partner that I've had for, a great relationship for a really long time, is Alma Waterways. And actually, I have to thank Gary Murphy, was probably my mentor for doing groups. And so that relationship's been really strong. And then Alex Pinello has come on as their senior VP of sales, and I've got a great relationship with Alex. And, you know, it's always great to see those guys in person, and they're just so supportive and so wonderful. And he came back, and I had a client who had booked a Christmas markets and had four other friends join her on this Christmas markets trip that's happening in December. And somehow her deposit was not paid. And we went to make final payment, and there was no reservation for her. And we were able to grab another cabin. It wasn't the same cabin. We got her on a wait list, but she had $1,000 promotion that was no longer available. And I went back to our BDM, and he said, well, let me see what I could do. And Alex approved it. And I just want to read this, what he said. He said, it was a pleasure, always a team effort. You're an amazing partner and friend, and we were always happy to assist you. I mean, that's from the senior VP of AMA Waterways. You know, that just doesn't happen. So I can't stress how important these relationships were. And then I had clients that are on, they're actually in Israel as we speak right now. And right before they left, they wanted to book a hotel in Hawaii. And he got some price, and he said, what can you do? And I went on Virtuoso, and we got the price, and we ended up booking it as a Virtuoso hotel with all the wonderful amenities and everything. And, you know, it was a hotel I hadn't used before, so the name really didn't stick. And I had a meeting with the Kahala Hotel on Oahu, and it was a very nice meeting. I come back, I have an email from the client saying, oops, we booked the wrong date. And then friends told us instead of an ocean view, maybe we should have a dolphin lagoon view. So I wrote back to Ron and, you know, explained the situation and told him, and he said, absolutely. He said, no worries, I'll take care of it. And this is the very best dolphin view room because it also has a partial ocean. So I'm reserving that for your client.
That's amazing. And that is a direct result of a relationship that you created in Virtuoso Travel.
I had never booked at the hotel before, but it was a Virtuoso hotel. So we did have the reservation. And then when I had to make all the changes and everything else, and the clients are thrilled.
You know, and Sandy, you've been with Gifted Travel Network now. How many years has it been now?
Well, I became part of the host agency in 2014, but I was with before in the coaching program.
Right. So, and what I want to get at is that you've been with us before we were with Virtuoso and in different iterations of it. And so what has been your, I mean, I obviously we know the answer, but I just want to hear it from you, like your experience of working with hotels and the example that you just used. Do you think that would have been something that could have happened before we were with Virtuoso?
Well, I think the access that you get as a Virtuoso agency, first of all, you know, with all the partners, because, you know, Virtuoso is really important to them because they know that you're going to bring a quality of client that's head and shoulders above most of the other consortiums, and from my point of view. And so they respect that. And actually to the partner, you're the client, not the guest. Because the guest's going to stay one time. You're going to keep booking it. So you know, it's really there. And so that's really important. And it's just the level of support from Virtuoso, the website. I mean, I go to my Virtuoso website almost every day. And I never did that with another consortia, never ever, because it wasn't worth it. And at half the time it was, and if I need help, if you go help@virtuoso.com, I mean, they're right back at you with good information and support and the Virtuoso reviews. I mean, that's great. The clients, you know, I have to brag a little bit. I have great reviews.
Of course you do. You're good at what you do. I love that tip about, you know, beyond Virtuoso Travel Week. This is a good inside scoop tip, is that you belong to a Virtuoso agency, Gifted Travel Network, or another one. Log into your Virtuoso login every day. There's always something to access and learn. Every single day.
So much support, so much good information.
What are you going to implement as a result of Virtuoso Travel Week? Is there anything that you've got on your radar or a trend that you want to kind of?
Well, the one thing, and I don't know if you can see this book. I attended this development workshop. So besides the meetings and everything, there's a lot of other things. There's professional
Yes.
development, there's communities, cruise, culinary, wellness, all those other things. Well, this was on writing emails and stuff. And the author is Susan Hershkowitz Core. And it was fabulous for me. I mean, fortunately, most of what she said I already did, but there were some tips that I've implemented in how I'm sending out emails to clients and stuff, and adding just a couple of other little touches that I think have really been fabulous.
What a great takeaway. Thank you. Can you hold that book up a little bit higher? Let's show that again. It's Power Sales Writing. Ooh, I missed that one, Sandy.
Oh my God, it's
I'm
great.
going to go out and buy that book.
Oh,
I love it.
absolutely. I mean,
Everybody should.
but it's for every level, like an introductory
Yes.
email, if you've got a problem, if you've got a this, if you've
Love
got
it.
that. I mean, she was fabulous. She was very funny and really right on. I can't
I
say
love
enough
it.
fabulous things about it.
Sandy, thank you for always being all in with Gifted Travel Network, and of course with Virtuoso now as well. Thanks for making time for this great conversation. We love your stories with the partners, your takeaway, this great book recommendation. It's always a pleasure to have you on our events and interview in this format. You're such a wealth of knowledge. Thank you so much, Sandy.
Well, it takes one to know one, Vanessa.
Oh, well, I'm going to say goodbye to you for now. We're going to bring on our next guest. Thank you again, Sandy. I also want to say a hello to Asa, who is in a Gifted Travel Network, and you dropped a comment in the thread. So nice to see you there, Asa. Pleasure to have you on the live stream. Let's go ahead and bring on a member that is actually new to Virtuoso Travel Week and was relatively new to GTN, and that is Celine. Celine Swicegood. Hello, Celine, and
hi, Vanessa.
It's such a pleasure to have you on. Thanks for making time today.
Absolutely.
So tell us, I mean, you just joined Gifted Travel Network this year in 2022.
Last year.
You joined in 2022, yes. This was your first time joining Virtuoso Travel Week. Why? You know, what was it about Virtuoso Travel Week? Like you could have very easily been like, oh, next year, maybe I'll do that next year. I just joined. I'm not even a year, barely a year. I'm going to wait. Like, what was the reason for joining Virtuoso Travel Week?
Okay. So I have been actually in travel for about 8 years. Like I started in 2015. I mean, I started actually 20 years ago, and then I got my company during 2015. And in fact, this month is my anniversary with Gifted Travel Network.
Yes, congratulations.
And it's true that, you know, I attended over the course of the years many small gatherings with suppliers, mainly with friends, but never anything with the scale of Virtuoso Travel Week. So I jumped into it. I think I was probably like, you know, as soon as they opened the gates to sign up, I think I did. So I was very excited. And the reason is that I know the importance of making one-on-one relationships. You meet someone in person. It is so important. It takes the relationship with the supplier, whether it's a hotel or DMC, to the next level. They know you on a personal level, and there is a level of comfort if you have to speak to them on behalf of your travelers that is not the same. And so I was like, yay. I mean, at the same time, it is overwhelming. You meet a lot of people. I think before Virtuoso Travel Week, I would meet, you know, in smaller gathering about 20, 30, maybe at the most new person at once. And I think I probably met about 150 people, you know, within the course of a week, which is crazy.
And how did we help with that? Like, did GTN play a role in helping you maximize, you know, your experience?
So the most wonderful thing I would say with the affiliation of Gifted Travel Network is first, as soon as I met pretty much everyone were like, oh, you're affiliated with Gifted. We love Gifted. We love the people of Gifted. We love the community. Everyone is so nice. And it may sound, trivial to say, oh, people are so nice, but I think it does have an impact on the professional level. Know that you're going to have a relationship with someone who is nice and not a pain.
It's true.
And because of Gifted, a lot of the preferred partner, they organize these invitation. They invited you to these events that were, whether for lunch or dinner, breakfast. In my case, I had the privilege of seeing someone from Silversea. So Jeannie Hall invited us to a dinner for Silversea, a little dinner. It was this very nice, intimate dinner with other people from Gifted and her, and talk about Silversea. And again, the deepening the relationship is super important. And obviously, I don't think I would have been able to have a dinner like that without the affiliation of Gifted. So it does play a role. Very important.
And your point about being nice, it's so important. And I appreciate that was what stood out to you. And we definitely want to, we pride ourselves in that level of professionalism at Gifted Travel Network. And we, want to continue to curate that vibe no matter how we grow. That's at the core of really who we are as a host agency. So thank you for honoring that. And thank you for your positive nature and your professionalism. And so you just shared about Silversea. What other partners stood out to you at Virtuoso Travel Week? What's some inside scoop there?
So I would say Rosewood in general. So I've had some bookings with Rosewood this year that were wonderful. And every time, I was meeting with another representative of another Rosewood hotel, they would be so like, again, oh, you're part of Gifted. This is so nice. Here is our product. But beyond that, I was actually able to meet in person with the representative of the Rosewood in Italy, Castiglione, or Mayakoba, where some of my travelers went just a few months ago now. And it was nice to actually have a recap on the experience that my traveler had. And this to me was important to I have the feedback of the travelers, but now I'm able to have the feedback from the partner. And if you don't have that relationship for Virtuoso or Gifted, maybe that hotel would not actually take the time to give you that feedback. And I think it's actually important because you always learn something. You always learn something. It's like, oh, your client, they wanted this, they wanted that. We were able to manage this or that for them, and it's like, oh, great, making notes for the next traveler,
Right.
for the next time, and that feedback, to have that one-on-one feedback from them during the event was very very important, I think.
That's a sign of that's what a partner does, right? Your partners.
Yeah.
I love that story. Thank you. So what is, just as we wrap up our time with you, what are you going to implement in your business as a result of Virtuoso Travel Week?
So actually, to take more time to get back to a lot of the partners. And, in this industry, we are flooded with emails, even before Virtuoso. After Virtuoso,
yes.
It's time tense. So, but it is important for you to be, to be partners. It takes two to tango, right? So they, I want their feedback, but they want my feedback too. And for me at Virtuoso, what I made me realize that I need to be better at implementing that tango. Like, I need to get back. I need to talk every time you receive an email. Answer that email to that partner, because you never know. And like you said earlier, you cannot just go to someone because you need something.
Right.
You know,
Right.
you need to actually keep that relationship alive, before Virtuoso and way after Virtuoso. And Virtuoso is a good reminder to keep that relationship alive all year long.
I love that, Celine. Keep the tango going.
Yes.
It's a tango. It's a dance. And I love that that was one of your takeaways. And, it's not that we mean to do that, like reach out when we need something. We're in such a fast-paced environment, especially with the way the travel industry is working right now. So it's just a good reminder to just be intentional. You're building a relationship, and just send a little nudge, send a little friendly reminder, just say a hello, a little note of gratitude, respond to the email. Oh my goodness. Sometimes we get lost. So maybe just block time off in your calendar to just be responding to emails and to get into that mode of acknowledging emails. A lot of partners send out invites all the time now throughout the year for lunches and dinners and whatever. They're in your city, they're doing a road show. It goes a long way when you see those invitations from your partners, simply to acknowledge it. Even if you can't go, just thank them. I really appreciate the opportunity to be considered. I'm out of town that week, or it's my son's something, or I have a conflict. Thank you for thinking of me. Please do think of me again in the future. Saying a little note like that, it really goes a long way, as opposed to just not responding, and that it doesn't feel good on the other end. It's frustrating, and it could lead to not getting invitations in the future as well. So thank you for that reminder, Celine. That was such a great tip, such a great takeaway. Thank you for your time. It was such a pleasure to talk with you. Bye, Celine. We're going to send her on her way and bring our last guest to our Inside Scoop on Virtuoso Travel Week. I'd like to invite Janine to the live stream. Janine Pendleton. Hey there, Janine. Welcome.
Hey. Hi. Thank you so much.
I do hear just a tad bit of feedback on your end. Do you have maybe the live stream open on another device or something to turn the volume down? That's strange. Okay. Anyways, we'll carry on. So if there was an award for Virtuoso Travel Week for the person who smiled the most and just looked like they were going to jump out of their skin excited, you would have won.
I know, and that's just so funny, because before I was going to go, I was just so overwhelmed by it and reading everything and looking at everything there was to do and just thinking, oh my God, I'm so overwhelmed. I don't think I want to go. I just don't think I can do this. It was like, oh, so scared. And thank you for that.
And you did it. You did it with such passion and professionalism.
Yeah.
Tell our viewers a little bit about your business, how long you've been in business, how long you've been with Gifted Travel Network, and why you decided to go to Virtuoso Travel Week.
Okay, so I started in the travel business in 2017, but I like to say I didn't really start until February of 2022, which is when I joined Gifted, because before that, I wasn't really a travel advisor. I was a hobbyist and just not a professional. And I just feel like it's been a year and a half of just constantly cultivating who I am and who I can be yet. And that is why I joined Gifted. I looked it over once a year ago and then came back to it, because I realized that I know a lot about a lot of things, but I didn't know how to be an entrepreneur. I did not know how to move my professional self forward. And that is why I feel like I was just really born into the travel business last year.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that. I know, Janine, you're part of our Travel MBA program for new to industry. You weren't new to industry when you joined Travel MBA, but you felt like you needed sort of a reset on that journey, and you joined us, and now you are absolutely thriving. And so, you're busy, you're still juggling a lot of things, including a full-time job, as well as growing a full-time business. So why did you choose to make time for Virtuoso Travel Week, and why do you recommend it for those considering it?
Well, I knew last year it wasn't my time, and I was so spot on. So this year was my time. I have taken on a deluge of clients because of some work I've done with on the waterways and some large groups. And these are my clients for life. They're customers when they're on the Zoom calls and when they put down their deposit. my job now is to take them to being a client. And for that, they all travel 3 or 4 times a year. They spend money. I needed to have more resources, and I knew that. And so that's why it was so important to me. I needed to get out there and see what I could have available to these clients who want to go to different places. They've traveled, they've been here, they've done that. So I wanted to have more opportunity and options for them. That was a big deal to me.
Oh, that's a great reason. So tell our viewers what partners stood out to you from that lens. So like, it almost sounds like you went shopping, right? You went travel shopping for your clients. So what trips really stood out in partners?
Well, because of my very special interest right now, there was a lot of Switzerland. There was tourism boards. There was a hotel representation company that I went to a cocktail hour with them. And then I met up with them again later and met with a couple of DMCs for Switzerland. And the thing I learned is that I can take the hotels that I picked up information on from the representation companies and take it to the DMC and say, hey, can you throw this hotel in there? I didn't know that before. I thought they just did it and you took it. So the two go hand in hand. I learned that. So
good takeaway.
And rail bookers. I spent a lot of time with rail bookers and am using them now. I've got 2 different itineraries that I'm this week, yesterday and today, mailing out to all my clients for their post cruise, and some time in Switzerland, giving them a couple of different options, but they've worked hard with me on that. So following up with those guys. Yeah.
I love those. Switzerland is definitely very hot right now. We got a lot of travelers looking for a non-Italy, France destination that still want to go to Europe. So thanks for sharing that. And is there, what's something that you're going to implement in your business as a direct result of attending Virtuoso Travel Week?
Well, probably what I just mentioned. I've always done my own FITs, and that's getting a little harder as I get busier. So now I am going to start leaning on DMCs more. That's sort of uncharted territory to me. And so that is one thing. I've met all these great properties and general managers of these hotels and felt like, you make connections and you'd like to use their property. I didn't realize I had the ability to do that with the DMC. So that is probably my biggest takeaway. That way you're kind of keeping 2 different partners happy.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. And, we're all about community at Gifted Travel Network. So tell us a little bit about maybe a good connection you made with a fellow GTNer. Why that mattered, why that was special to you.
Yeah, well, the thing is, my biggest overall takeaway that people should know about GTN, we are such a tight community. We have our forum. We're constantly talking. Everybody helps everybody. I needed a chocolate factory in Switzerland, not just a chocolate store tour. So I threw it out there yesterday. I got like 5 answers. We communicate with each other so much, and on Zoom, of course. But to get to actually touch someone and hug them that you've known for 2 years is mind-blowing. It just takes everything to another level. Absolutely everything. So to pinpoint one, it would have to be the lady who was on right before me. I just have admired her for so long, and she's so kind. Yes, she's so kind, and I didn't know what to expect, when you just see people the way we see them. And she's so warm. She's so beautiful. And I just enjoyed my time with her so much. I have to say that.
I love that. I'm sure you share the same sentiment as me when I would like to also, like I said, I gave you the award for biggest smile and just looked like you were going to spontaneously bust with excitement. I think we should give Celine Best Dressed Gala Award.
Absolutely.
Gala.
Absolutely. No doubt. Yeah.
I love that you were able to deepen your connections with other GTN members. And at the end of the day, they're your colleagues and they're your peers, and they also help you make magic happen for your clients as well. So it works synergistically. And like we say at GTN, it's an ecosystem between the host and the consortia and you, and we all work together synergistically, and we're all partners, helping to change lives through travel.
Yeah. It was such a lovely event, so well run. It's a scary thing to go in there for the first time. And my background is a lot in event planning. I had a catering business, so I'm sort of a precision deployment junkie. It's like everything has to be a certain way. And it was like, there was nothing that could have been better about the engineering of those 5 days. It was
Well,
perfect.
I know that is music to the Virtuoso events team, and hopefully
I hope they listen. Yeah.
Yes, me too. Janine, thank you so much for your insights on Virtuoso Travel. We really appreciate it. Thanks for making time for this. I will let you go, and we will see you on a GTN Zoom soon.
Of course. Thanks so much. Thanks for the opportunity.
All right, we have come to the top of the hour. Thanks for those of you that were able to join the live. Hopefully you were able to get some information and some inspiration around Virtuoso Travel Week, and also a real sense of the Gifted Travel Network community and how important our partnerships are, and why we love our relationship with Virtuoso so much. It's been a great hour talking to our various members, as well as Erica on the partner relations team. If you're catching the recording, thank you for making time. Please don't hesitate to drop a comment in the respective thread on whichever platform you are viewing this presentation. And if you are considering Gifted Travel Network, we invite you to visit our website at giftedtravelnetwork.com and start an application. You can also email us to join us at giftedtravelnetwork.com. Thanks for making time for this special presentation. We'll see you on the next Inside Scoop. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.